In this video, we'll be hunting a box of pennies, as well as hopefully making some progress to hunt an album fill. We'll be looking for any wheat scents from 1958 or older. We'll also be looking for any foreigns, proofs, heirs or varieties, or anything else we can find, as well as pulling aside any copper we find and filling up this jar, seeing how much we can get. And we do have one ender in this box right here. It's actually a really nice wheat scent, so hopefully that'll be an upgrade for the album. I'd say it's in about red-brown condition. So hopefully that'll be an upgrade. So let's start the box, and I'll bring you in whenever you have our first find. Roll 2, and we have the first find of the hunt, and it's going to be a foreign at the back of the roll right here. It looks like a Canadian scent, which it is, and it's from 1976. Roll 3, and we have our first wheat scent. It's obverse facing, and it is a 1945 minted in Denver. Roll 6, and we have Canadian scent number 2, and it is right here. This one is a 1975. Roll 7, and we have the second wheat scent of the box. It's also from the 40s, has some corrosion on it, but it is a 1941 Philly. Roll 9, and we have the third foreign of the box. Probably another Canadian scent right here, which it is, and it's from 2000. Roll 12, yet another Canadian. This is going to be the fourth of the box right here. This one is in 1982. Roll 13, and I see the edge of the third wheat scent of the box near the beginning of the roll right here. And it is a 1945 San Francisco. We might need that one for the album. Roll 15, and we have the fourth wheat scent of the box, and this one is 1946 out of Philly. Roll 20, and we have the fifth Canadian scent of the box right in the middle of the roll, and this one is 1965. Roll 25, halfway point of the box, and we have yet another Canadian, which will make 6 for the box so far, and it's right here, and it is another 1976. Roll 29 was that nice condition wheat scent ender. Don't see anything else on the roll yet, but here it is. Based on the condition, it's probably going to be from the 50s, but hopefully it'll be an upgrade at least. And it's a 1958 Denver, but still, I'm pretty sure that will upgrade. It's a pretty nice shape. That is a great find. Just opened roll 34, and I actually see 2 wheat scent edges in this roll. One in the front and one in the back. We'll just pull out the front one first. And this one is a 1952 Denver, and the other one's right here. This one, a 1945 Philly. Roll 36, and we're going to have another Canadian scent. It's one away from being an ender in the back of the roll, and it is a 1998. Roll 38, and we have yet another Canadian scent. This one just a few coins in the roll, and it is a 1986. Roll 42, and we're going to have another Canadian scent, and this one is right here, and it is a 1976 once again. Just opened roll 45, and we're going to have yet another Canadian scent near the end of the roll right here, and this one is from 1983. Same roll, once again towards the end, and we have another wheat scent. This one is 1957 from Denver. Roll 47, and we have yet another Canadian scent near the middle of the roll this time, right here. This one is 1992 commemorative. That was all the finds for this box, and it was not a bad box. We ended up with 8 wheats, which is slightly less than I like getting, but that's not too bad still. All from the 40s and 50s. I'm pretty sure we have one edition, a 45S, I believe we got. And Canadians, we got 11, which is a little more than average, which is pretty good. And I was able to pick up a second box, and this one actually has 2 wheat scent enders. We have a reverse right here, and then right there is a 1947 Denver. So with 2 enders, hopefully that means it's going to be a good box. So let's start hunting box number 2, and hopefully we can get some good finds. Roll 5 has the first couple finds for box 2, and they are a couple Canadian scents. First one is in the back of the roll here, and it's pretty damaged, and I'm pretty sure it's a 1980. Then the other one is here, and it looks like it could be a little older. Hopefully it is. And it is 1952, and that is a last year King George VI. I don't get very many King George VI Canadian cents. That is an awesome find. Next roll, and we have another Canadian cent. This one is right here, and it is a 1960, another older one, and this one is a young head. That's an awesome find. Roll 10, and we have a pretty cool miscellaneous find. Flipped over this memorial cent, and we have one of the state counterstamp pennies. It's a 1976 Philly, and it has a state of North Dakota, which is a state I have not gotten yet, and that is an awesome find. Roll 18, and we finally have the first wheat cent of the second box besides the two enders. I thought with two enders we'd get a lot more, but we finally got our first one, and it is 1944 Denver. Roll 20 is going to be the second wheat cent of box 2, and it was that wheat cent ender from the reverse, and when I open the roll, it looks pretty slick, so hopefully it's going to be an older one, and hopefully one for the album. And it will be one for the album. 1929 Philly, we do not have that one yet. It's a pretty common date, but any 20s wheat cent is a great find. Roll 27, just uncovered another wheat cent. This one is from the 40s, and it is 1941 Philly. Roll 34, and we're going to have another Canadian cent. It's one of the odd-edged ones, and this one's right here. And it is a 1988. Roll 36, and we have another wheat cent, and this one is going to be used for the album. We do not have this one filled yet, and it is 1950 out of Philly. Roll 38, and we're going to have another Canadian cent. This one is right here, and it is a 1970. Just opened roll 39, and I see the edge of another wheat cent. This one is right here. And it does look pretty worn. Hopefully it's an old one, and if it is, hopefully it's for the album. And it's not, it's just a worn down 1942 Philly. Roll 41, and we have another wheat cent near the end of the roll. And this one is 1954 Denver. Next roll, roll 42, and I'm just going to open the roll, and we are going to get another wheat cent right here. Glad to see the box is heating up a little bit with the wheat cents. This one is a 1956 Denver. Roll 43, and we're staying hot with the wheat cents. This time we have a 1941 out of Philly, and the next roll is a 1947 wheat cent ender, so I'll be with you with that roll. Roll 44 was that wheat cent ender. Don't see anything else in the roll, but it is a 1947 Denver. Roll 45, and this time it's not a wheat cent, but we do have another Canadian right here, and it is a 1995. Roll 48, and we have yet another Canadian cent, this one being right here, and it is another 1965. Roll 49, just open the roll, and I see the edge of another wheat cent. It's a little bit discolored right here. Hopefully, it's one for the album. And it's a 1951 Denver. It looks like it's been cleaned or something, but still, it's still a find. Both boxes have been hunted, so let's go over the finds. This was really odd, but we only got one 1959 for the two boxes. That's the least I've ever gotten by far, and the one we got is in terrible condition, which is pretty odd. We got 14 S-mints and I believe 36 2009s. Foreigns, we got 18, and all were Canadian. Newest was a 2000, and we did get a couple of older ones, a 1960 Younghead and a 1952 King George VI, which was an awesome find. Miscellaneous finds, we had one, which was that North Dakota state counterstamped penny. They sold these in sets with all 50 states, and I guess people broke them out, put them in circulation. That's a pretty cool find. Wheat cents, we got 18, same amount as Canadians. Most were in the 40s and 50s, but we got one from the 20s and 1929 Philly, which will fill a spot in the album, which is awesome. And then I do believe there are at least a couple of fillers and upgraders in the 40s and 50s as well, which is great. Copper cup, we did get less than normal. We usually about fill the cup, but we got about two-thirds this time, which is a little disappointing, but that's fine. It's just copper pennies. Now we'll take the memorial cents over there, wheat cents here, add and upgrade everything to the album, and I'll bring you back with an album update. just finished putting everything in the album, and here's how it looks now. For Wheat Cents, we ended up having 5 editions, which were the 1929, 1945S, 1950, 1951 Denver, and 1952 Denver. The 1951 Denver is in pretty rough shape, but we will upgrade it eventually, of course. And we also had a few upgrades in the Wheat Cents as well. And we also had some upgrades from the Memorial Cents as well from the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s. Overall, this was a very successful 2-box penny on an album fill episode.